everyone. Welcome to Wealth Redefined. I'm your host, Michael Reynolds, certified financial planner, and on the web at elevationfinancial.com. That is my firm. I'm the owner, and you can find me there, elevationfinancial.com. So today we're going to talk about when to use a credit card balance transfer. So have you ever wondered how to make your credit card debt more manageable? A lot of us have these questions. We have some credit card debt. A balance transfer might be a solution that could work for you. So at its core, it's all about moving your debt from one credit card to another, generally to snag a lower interest rate. 0% APR promotion is typically the scenario we see. So timing is important when it comes to a balance transfer, and knowing when to use one is the key. So it can be smart. You can use it to consolidate high interest debt. You can speed up your journey to being debt free, but it's definitely not a one size fits all. So the secret is to use it in the right moment, weigh the ups and downs, and know going into it what the terms are. So let's talk about some ideal scenarios for balance transfers. So let's say you've got some credit card debt, looking for a way out. Balance transfer might help. So, let's say you have a $5,000 balance on a credit card with 20% APR, pretty high. So you're paying, $1,000 interest every year. What if you could shift that balance to a card with a 0% APR for a promotional period, which potentially saves you hundreds of dollars? That gets you one step closer to getting rid of debt because you're lowering your interest, you're saving some money. Or maybe you've got multiple credit cards scattered across different cards, each with its own set of rules, its own rates, kind of a headache. Transferring those balances to one card with a lower rate or a 0% APR could lower your stress. That could make things simpler. So it could streamline your monthly payments, help you cut down on interest, and make it easier to see your progress as you get closer to getting rid of that debt. So, they're not just for clearing debt. They can be important for managing cash flow. Also, if your income fluctuates, for example. So let's say you're an entrepreneur, you're caught in a temporary cash squeeze, expecting some revenue soon, but it's not here yet. Excuse me. Moving your existing balance to a card with 0% APR can give you some breathing room. That way, the money you save on interest can be used for more urgent expenses, can give you a higher credit line temporarily. And so you're aligning your debt payments with your cash flow and avoiding extra fees and interest. But, remember, even with those perks, you need to have a solid payment plan in place. The goal is to use lower interest rates or promotional periods to knock down your debt, not just delay it or kind of kick the can down the road. So, if you're being smart about this, if you're being strategic, you're optimizing your debt and saving money. But there are some factors to consider before you make a balance transfer. So again, a 0% interest credit card balance transfer can be a great tool to reduce interest costs, help you pay off debt faster, but there's a few downsides. And these are some of the downsides. One, balance transfer fees. So most credit card companies charge a balance transfer fee, which is typically anywhere from 3 to 5% of the transferred amount. So for example, if you transfer $10,000, a 5% fee would cost you $500, which reduces your overall savings that you're getting from it. Also, the temporary interest-free period. The 0% interest rate is usually only available for a limited time, like let's say 12 to 18 months, for example. If you don't pay the full balance before the promotional period ends, the remaining balance is going to be subject to the regular APR, which can be pretty high. Also, potential for increased debt. A balance transfer can give you temporary relief, but if you continue to use your old credit cards and rack up new charges, you're going to end up with more debt rather than paying it down. Also, it can impact your credit score. It can impact your credit utilization because opening a new credit card might improve your credit utilization if you don't close old accounts. But if you max out the new card, your utilization might spike, which negatively affects your credit score. Also, it's a hard inquiry. Applying for a new card results in a hard inquiry, which can lower your credit score slightly. Also, be aware that if you close your old cards after transferring the balance, it could shorten your credit history length, which can also lower your credit score. All right, next, limited transfer amounts. Balance transfers usually have a limited amount or credit limit, which may not cover the full balance you want to transfer. So if your credit limit's lower than expected, you might still have high interest debt left in your old cards, which can leaves some complexity in place there. So kind of weigh the pros and cons of that. Also, watch out for deferred interest. Some issuers retroactively apply interest if you don't pay off the balance in full by the end of the promotional period, which can really rack up interest charges. So be sure you read the fine print to understand the terms. Also, minimum payments are still required. Even though there's no interest, you still have to make minimum monthly payments, and missing a payment can result in losing the 0% APR offer, late fees, and increased interest rates. Also, sometimes restrictions on transfers. Most credit card issuers don't allow transfers between their own cards, for example. If you have a Chase card, you can't transfer it to another Chase card. This limits your options and may require opening a new card with a different issuer, so be aware of that. So overall, bottom line, a 0% balance transfer can be a smart move if you're disciplined about paying off the balance before the promotional period ends. However, be aware of fees, new debt temptation, and how your credit score may be impacted before you make the move. Also, be careful of the balance transfer treadmill. Shuffling debt from one card to another without making a dent, I should say, does nothing other than complicate your life. It just doesn't solve the root issue. It just makes things more complicated. So instead of chasing balance transfers, also think about the bigger picture approach. Boost your income, cut back on expenses, switch up your spending habits. There are other things you can do before running straight to a balance transfer. You want to look at the root cause behind your debt issues. So tackling the problem at its core is really the best approach to get you on a path to improving your financial health and getting you free from debt. So balance transfer can make sense, but again, look at the underlying root cause of your debt issues before jumping straight to it. So, all right, if you have questions about this or anything else, as always, you can reach out to me on my website, which is elevationfinancial.com. You can send me a note through there, or find me on social media, or if you want to consider becoming a client, you are welcome to book a free consultation on my website using the calendar link right there. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining me today. Have a great day. See you next time.